What's up guys, Drew here. This is a VR to Brittany from Palm Tree Bewitchery, and the VR is to commemorate her reaching 1,000 subscribers. So congratulations, Brittany. The topic of the VR is, I think she called it soul trees, or everybody else has been calling it soul trees, so I don't know. But basically, what tree do we feel like a deep spiritual connection with, or some kind of connection with? First off, let me say that I love trees, all trees. I feel very connected to trees and plants, trees in particular. I communicate with them, like we have conversations of sorts. And while I know that might not be as unusual in this community, it's definitely not normal in the mainstream. My absolute favorite tree is the Japanese cherry blossom tree, closely followed by probably birch. I love cedar and maple, and I just love trees. I do have a specific tree that I have a very deep connection with, and it is actually a specific tree. It's not just a type of tree. I have spent the majority of my life here in eastern North Carolina, where pine is prevalent. Everywhere you go, there are pine trees. But at my parents' house, there is a special pine tree. I call her Sister Pine. And she is the biggest pine tree I have ever seen in person, as far as like her girth, her width. She's huge. I'm not going to go into the whole story about how I came into my path at this point. I did do another VR to Brittany where I talked about that. I'll link that in the description for anyone who's interested. But essentially, there was a time in my life where I was ill for almost 2 months. Well, I was ill for 2 months, probably over 2 months, but I couldn't even get out of bed for at least a month and a half. And then by the time I could get out of bed, I was very weak, and I had trouble breathing, and I couldn't get around much. So I would just sit on the back porch. I was at my parents' and stare into what I thought was space. And I started having all of these sort of epiphanies and spiritual insights, and then it dawned on me that I wasn't staring into space at all, that I was staring at this ginormous pine tree. And to make a long story short, we developed a relationship, and she is literally the tree that brought me into my path and practice. She is a wise teacher and a friend, and unfortunately, I don't have a personal, physical relationship with her at the moment. I don't know if I ever will again. As many of you will know, my mother has passed, and my father and I are basically estranged. I do not go to his home, and that's where she is. So even though I can't see her physically, we definitely have a deep energetic and spiritual bond, and like I can feel her. I don't have to even try. Like, she's there, and we're connected, and it's a beautiful thing. So yeah, it's short and sweet, but I don't want to ramble on about it all day. So basically, that is my spiritual connection with a tree. Again, congratulations, Brittany, and until next time, much love and gratitude.